In this lesson, we are going to see one more input method which allows us to pass values to the script or variables to the script. So the method is called as command line parameters. But what is a command line parameter? A command line parameter is a way for a user to provide values to the script during the running a command. So the example is something like Python. When we run a Python script using Python command, we give value as run.py or the name of the file or .py, which is a Python file, and press enter. So that Python file goes as a value to the Python command, which then understands that we are trying to run that file. So once the interpreter knows that we are trying to run that Python file, it will try to search that Python file in the current directory. And once it gets that file, it will read the content and start executing that file line by line. Now let's see how can we use these command line parameters to provide values to the script. For this, we are going to take help from the Python interpreter and import a library into our program which allows us to read the command line parameters that user has entered. So here we have imported a sys library which is given by the Python, and from that library we are trying to import a argv module, which is a short form for argument variables. This allows us to read the argument variables from the command and use them in our program. So let's see a demo example. Script equal to argv, and then I'm going to print this variable, value of variable script. Let's run this program. Python command.py. So read the output. So it has given the message that we ask it to print and the value which is given by argv to our script variable. So in this you can clearly see that it has provided some weird syntax which we never entered, and along with that inside it there is this string command.py. Now why do I say it as a string? Because observe these quotes. So those single quotes indicates that this is a string. So what has happened is when I entered this Python command and provided command.py as a file name, it read that file name that I have provided as a variable, and argv gave it to a script, and then we are printing it. And since argv reads all the variables that we provide in a command, it's kind of a list of variables that it accepts, and hence it is representing the value as a list. So this, the square bracket, this is the syntax for a list. Now what is a list in Python? That we will see later on. Now let's see one more example. Now let's say we are expecting it to enter number underscore 1 comma number underscore 2, and then we are going to print each one of them. Value of script, print value of number 1, print value of number 2. Let's run this program. Python command.py. It is giving us an error. Why? So last time when we executed this same command, it worked. This time it is giving us an error. And read the error, value error. Not enough values to unpack. Expected 3, got 1. So remember similar kind of error when we received you during the one of the program when we were testing input function. It's similar to that. Now why is it? Read this line which it has indicated. Here we have three variables, script number 1 and number 2, and which is getting value from argv. So here it is expecting to have three values, but we provided only one, which is the name of the script. So let's provide two more values, 2, and see the value of the script is command, value of number 1 is 1, and value of number 2 is 2. So now it has properly unpacked the values given by argv into the variables that we have, and it exactly matched, and hence we could see the output. Now read the output here and here. So here we just had one variable script equal to argv. So an argv was having only one value, and hence it has given all the things which is basically the one value to the script. So it's as good as assigning argv to a script variable. Whereas in this case we had three variables, so argv is expected to have three values which we entered. So interpreter saw that there are three variables on the left side, so it unpacked argv and gave each value to each one of the variable. Now let's see if we provide more than three values to this command. Let's say we provide maybe a text, and it gives us an error because it was expecting only three values and we provided now four, and hence the error. Now let's see for the same command, instead of providing two numbers, if we say 1 and 2, whether it works or not. It works, and the reason it's same. These command values are treated as strings and they are given to each of the variables. So indirectly we are assigning strings to these variables and using them in our print statement. So we have now learned how to take an input from the user using an input function, and how to get the variables from the command. So let's use both of these things in one small program. So let's say from sys import argv and script comma, let's say username equal to argv. So we are expecting a user to provide his username as a command. Then we are going to print a message to the user using fstring welcome username please provide following details about you. So let's say age equal to input, and here right, what is your age? Is equal to input, where do you live? Then we are going to print both of these. Let's say fstring username is age years older and lives in So let's run our program. Python command underscore input dot py, and we are expecting a username. Let's say Rahul. Press enter. So it is giving us the exact message. Now let's say we provide the age. Where do we live? Let's say Mumbai. So it works perfectly. So using both of this, the command parameters as well as the input function, we can create a script which will allow us to interact with the user. I hope that you understood how to read an input via a command line as well as using an input function. In the next lesson, we are going to see how to read and write to the files.